This is Sybert signing into Kane's Wrath on the map Tournament Galaxy in the south as the green Zocom. This is Lucas, playing as Pros Killer. In the top right-hand corner as the orange nod. This is Sharyn, who might be Senna? I'm not actually sure. So old Leafy sent me this replay, and the replay was titled WTF, so I'm definitely suspicious of what exactly this game is. Maybe it's just one big joke, but we'll find out together. Tournament Galaxy, one of the newer community maps. Well, actually, I don't know about newer. It's new to me. I've only seen a handful of games on it. And tib spikes in the north and the south, blue tib in the middle. And I mean, other than that, pretty standard, pretty flat, pretty open. And then Nod v Zocom. So some definite potentials for some wonky games here. And of course, Zocom does have some very powerful tactics, but they also are a faction which people have struggled with in the past and have some difficulty winning in certain situations. Buggy Scout going to be going out to clean up some of these rifleman squads, trying to stop Lucas from being able to get too much information. And MCV on the move for Sharyn, rifleman squad packing up into that bunker, and MCV on the move for Lucas as well. So far, nothing too strange. Both these guys just living off of that one power plant lifestyle. So they're living on the edge, living dangerously. But of course, it's a short walk to get to your expansion on this map. I feel so on edge just because of the suspiciousness of this particular replay. Pitbull now out on the field for Lucas. We'll have to see what he's got planned. For now, he's just going to be stealing a little bit of blue Tiberium. You can tell it's not Bike Rush, because Bike Rush would have either killed the Tib or tried to deny the Harvester while going with it for like 3 Harvesters himself. So far, really standard game from these two guys. So Sharyn and Lucas just bringing a pretty bog standard match. Refineries going up at the expansions. Pitbulls and Buggies going to be facing off around the map and just poking at each other. Hand of Nod, a couple of rocket squads going to be coming out for Sharyn. And yeah. Now I'm really suspicious about what the second half of this is. Either the most boring game in the world, and I'm just being trolled, or like this is a 4-hour game, but it's just them being really passive, or the second half of this game is going to be absolutely wild. Buggy heading in for the scout. He's like, oh, yeah, no, you're doing the no-rush 20 minutes thing as well. We're both living that life. We're both living our best 20-minute no-rush life. And Rifleman squad going to be engaging a militant squad in the south. Going to be calling in... Really? Huh. Not often do you see a player call in the infantry support. So... what exactly his plan is with this, I'm not 100% sure. A couple of rocket squads, a couple of riflemen going to be meeting in the middle of the map, and then 2 sets of riflemen, 2 sets of rockets. I could kind of understand if he was like calling in bloodhounds, because sometimes you can do a bit of damage with bloodhounds, but just the rockets and the infantry. He's got the Tib suit upgrade, so he's got Tiberium field suits. Bikes in the north, it looks like they were spotted by Lucas, so he will know that they're coming. He's pulled his engineer back. He's sent his pit bulls up to deal with this. And 2 of the bikes going to die before they even reach the harvesters, and then the third one goes down pretty darn quickly. And air tower here with a couple of Venoms, a bunch of Buggies, so I'm not 100% sure what the deal is with this little attack. It gets handled very easily. It's created a little bit of space for these pitbulls, but there's shredder turrets here to try and push the pitbulls away. And they're going to force them to go further south, and this buys Sharyn a little bit of time The Harvesters are exposed. He's actually pulled all of his buggies up to the northern field, so I guess he was deciding that there was going to be a big attack up there, but the Pit Bulls are actually holding back, so they've given the buggies enough time to respawn. Some of the Harvesters have been pulled back from the edge of the field, and Lucas pulling back. Command post down. He's got his Tier 2 rocking, most likely going to be working on that Tier 3 relatively soon. There's a one-click, gets the refinery. The Harvester goes down to low health, but it does survive. And for now, these two guys are just looking at each other real fiercely. Tier 3, of course, down. Laser fence around it, and I guess he's going for Tib core missiles, I would assume. Could be going for EMP coils or laser capacitors, but I guess the buggies would be benefiting from the laser capacitors. Doesn't have a lot of Scorpion tanks. Instead, going with avatars and directly into the Redeemer. Rocket squads in the north, going to be poking in. They will get kind of slowed down by this Shredder turret, and it looks like there's enough here from Sharyn to be able to stop this. Should be able to push this back. One Venom will go down, and a second one does get eliminated as well. There's a lot of rocket troopers, but, you know, buggies and the Shredder turrets going to make relatively short work of these rocket troopers. Pitbull is going to be swinging by onto the right side, going for a bit of Harvester harass, and killing these Harvesters before the third base is definitely nice if you can shut down your opponent's eco before the late game and stop them from really being able to harvest their third field very effectively. You could maybe take an advantage a little bit later on in the game. This is a lot of Pit Bulls, but they're actually focusing on the infantry instead of trying to hunt more Harvesters. So a couple of Harvesters will be able to escape, selling off a couple of the refineries up north as more Pit Bulls going to be rocking up to take some shots at this Avatar and backing off away from that Harvester. So Lucas keeping the pressure on. He's got more pits in the south. Going to be reversing around, going to be traveling the wrong direction just slightly there. And, yeah, he's base crept up to his third base, up to his third expansion, third field, rather. And, Hand of Nod, going to be going down. Nothing inside of this Redeemer just yet. Pit Bulls in the north going to be pulling away. Looks like they were able to force a sell-off of a couple of buildings just to draft some scouts, get some damage out on those Pit Bulls. Engineer and a Black Hand Squad potentially going to be hopping into this Redeemer. A classic combo. Gives you those heals and then also the ability to flame down structures. Mortars on Pit Bulls. It can be a useful upgrade, and in this particular case, it does help them work down those buildings a little bit more quickly, and it also kills buggies if they sit still. It looks like the refinery will stand for now. Black Hand Squad finally being able to load into that Redeemer. A lot of rocket squads in the middle of the map, just slowly trickling them out for Lucas. Space Command uplink going to be finally dropping down so he can call in his own one-clicks, which actually he's got this third field up and going. I assume a second refinery is going to be dropped up there pretty quickly, and then he'll have lots of cash left over for some one-clicks, so he can call down, you know, orbital bombardment. Rage Gen does fire off, forcing these Pit Bulls to attack and the missile squads as well to attack each other. So a couple of Pit Bulls do end up going down there, but not big casualties, all things considered. EMP Shockwave Artillery, it looks like, may have locked down these Avatars and giving the mortars an actual chance to do some damage before the Avatars come back online and just shred these Pit Bulls. Bike's going to be showing up, no Tib core for them, so no extra damage for them, and they do clean up all of the Pit Bulls without too much trouble. Should grab that husk up north. Rocket Squad's going to be stepping on forward, and they actually get the kill of the Redeemer there. They do manage to wipe that out, and these Rocket Squads going to be able to kind of overwhelm some of these forces. Not enough anti-inf in this army, but of course Shredder turrets will do a much better job, as well as these Black Hand Squads, at evening things up. And killing that Redeemer has definitely reset the clock a little bit here. No Marv Reclamator hub, it looks like, just yet for Lucas. So for now, he's just going to be rolling with that regular war factory. Redeemer engineering facility pumping out buggies, not going for another Redeemer just yet. And the MCV is on the move. We'll have to see a big defense over here as these pit bulls are going to push in and try and do some damage. Tib core has been purchased. They kill the husk, not going to give Sharyn the opportunity to claim that back, and a couple of these missile squads will end up going down. MCV on the move to the middle of the map for Sharyn. Bunker will get shot down eventually, but it will delay this army by a little bit. Big movements of rocket squads in the south. There's no blue tib here. It's been leached for pretty much this entire game. Luke has been doing a good job of keeping that low. Zone Raider is going to be getting called in, and they're going to be able to clean up maybe a couple of these buggies before getting eliminated, but this was just like way too much anti-inf, way too close for those Zone Raiders to really do what they needed. Pitbulls going to be pulling back. Rocket squads, and it looks like another Redeemer is now out on the map. Rocket squads and infantry going to be trying to engage these avatars, but this is way too many buggies for this little bit of infantry to really do anything about. The Redeemer could end up getting caught by a big mass of infantry for right now. He's got another engineer, got another Black Hand squad in that Redeemer. Air tower on the front line, going to be able to produce the Venoms right in the face of his opponent. Avatars stepping forward, going to be able to clean up some of these riflemen, but I don't think they need to worry too much about the riflemen. Buggy's going to be pulling on to the south here. They're going to be met with a whole bunch of rocket squads, a whole bunch of pit bulls, and the buggies can't stand up against both of them. No Redeemer here just at the current moment. Orbital bombardment going to get called down upon those structures, trying to do some big damage to those harvesters. And Marv now out on the field as mine's going to be getting called down almost directly on top of those pit bulls, but they didn't quite manage to get it. Some of the splash damage ending up killing GDI units as the Redeemer stepping in from the north. A couple of Venoms as well, benefiting from those laser capacitors and able to help clean up these riflemen in, or these rocket squads in the south. Pitbull's going to be transitioning up to the north. They were able to kill most of the harvesters that were here, or at least force them off the line. War Factory does get sold as another harvester will inevitably go down there as these pitbulls on the run, on the move from this Nod army, which is not quite as fast. The Avatars and the Redeemers just can't catch up and keep up with those pitbulls. And these buggies getting some free shots off on these retreating pitbulls. Even a pitbull going heroic while in the middle of the map. Looks like harvesters will be able to clean up this Venom. No problem there. No real threat of being killed off by one Venom when you've got rocket harvesters, as Zocom does. Big infantry swell in the middle of the map, and Shredder turrets going to be able to slow this down, but they won't be able to stop it. However, buggies and militant squads in combination with this Redeemer may be able to enough to stop this, although you don't want the Redeemer to just step forward with no support at all. Rage Gen does fire off. Going to be killing some of these pit bulls, and these rifleman squads will eliminate some of those rocket squads. There's still a lot of strength here left from Lucas, but I don't know that he can stand up to the direct firepower of Sharyn. He's backing off for now. Doesn't want to have to contend with the base defenses, the Redeemer, the militant squads, the Avatars, and the Raider buggies. He's going to choose his fight a little bit differently, and in a direct regular engagement, the missile squads won't necessarily beat the Redeemer, but we have seen many, many times in the past enough infantry get enough damage from while walking away to kill an epic unit. Shockwave artillery fires off, and the RNG is not good enough to lock down the Redeemer. The Redeemer steps out of range and will not be put down at the current moment. Pitbull is going to be rolling up, and this is a ton of Pitbulls, even some rocket squads mixed in here as well. And this Redeemer is now stepped away from all of the Shredder turrets, stepped away from the base defenses, although the MCV now on the move. The Marv stepped forward as well, but he has to back away, as in the north, the Redeemer taking more and more damage from these rocket troopers, but they're waning in numbers. EMP's coils will fire off. They lock down the Marv, and they're going to give him the opportunity, Sharyn that is, to try and shut this Marv down. Repeat EMPs to keep this Marv down, but it looks like the Avatars are just trading blows with infantry, which is going to take them a good long while to actually clean up all of those squads, while Pitbulls swarm around, cleaning up these Avatars one by one somehow as the Marv gets ever closer to doom and destruction. Even the Harvesters getting in on the action, and this Redeemer surrounding the Marv has almost guaranteed its destruction, and there it goes. The Marv eliminated. The Redeemer down to about a third health, but getting that first veteran status as the MCV is under threat as well. These Pitbulls putting out some pretty massive damage before being forced to pull back, and it looks like they will survive, but just 3 of them for now. Sharyn with the slow push forward is at the gates of Lucas, knocking on the door, but pulling back to heal from his wounds at the current moment. Pitbull is going for the kill on some of these harvesters, trying to cut off the economy, and going for some rocket harvester attacks as well. I assume this is just to kind of steal the Tiberium or potentially even get a couple of kills, but it's just like when you've got no Tiberium on your side of the map and you've got a ton of harvesters from the mid and early game left over, they're not really doing anything for you. You only need like 1 per field to keep it dry. So you might as well do something with them, maybe steal some opponent's Tib, maybe get a couple of kills, which would be pretty funny. Rocket Harvester is actually going to be engaging the Redeemer a little bit there. Hand of Nod goes down, got a couple of Avatar Husks to grab, although those Engineers could be vulnerable if Riflemen get the call on what is going on. 1 Harvester does go down. A second one may actually escape with a full load of Tiberium. Oh my gosh, that was actually worth it. If he escapes with that Tiberium, that's actually worth it. And these 2 harvesters are hunting these avatars in the south of the map. These avatars which are like hunting down a single Pitbull, and they could just waste this harvester, but the harvester nearly got the kill on them, while back in the north, avatars have been reclaimed, and it looks like the Marv is also back on the front line as the MCV is just getting wasted by this Redeemer. Sharyn going to be able to step forward and kill the Redeemer with no, or kill the MCV rather, with no support. This Redeemer will be able to flame it down. EMP locks out that MCV, and that is it for the MCV. I'm sure he does have a War Factory still somewhere on this map. I'm sure he has a War Factory somewhere on this map. He doesn't have a War Factory, so that's it. No more buildings, no more production facilities. He's got this barracks, he's got this Marv, and he's still got his tier 3, so I don't know if he has his armory, though. No, he's got 2 racks and I think no armory, so okay. I guess he's got Zone Raiders and a Marv and lots of rocket squads. He does have Engineers. He could try some sneaky caps, or he could try and take over Avatar Husks as they do fall. But EMP Raider Buggy is going to be stepping forward. 1 EMP does not actually fire off. He tried to call in a call for transport. The EMPs do lock down the Marv. It is pretty much full on health, but for now it's just going to be tanking so much damage. The reinforcements for Lucas, they're not in very good numbers, and Sharyn is just stepping forward, and he's actually wasting this Marv really quickly, so the Marv is the last hope in terms of big armor for Lucas. It's all just down to infantry, which is going to be pretty easy to counter, as Pro Killer has been defeated. Huh, okay. I don't know, maybe I missed something in that game? Yeah, so that was a game. It had some action. I don't know why was that called WTF? Anyways, thank you all very much for watching, and this is Sybert signing out.